Well, good evening. So, a few people have been asking questions about my journey, as I've been calling it, but my conception of my child. And I have promised an explanation a long time ago when I first found out. And so this video is long overdue, but it's taken a while for multiple reasons. Number one, I've just been enjoying myself, enjoying my time, getting to learn everything about pregnancy. As you know, this is my first. But also, I'm not in the business of explaining myself, quote unquote. So, and most of you that know me know that. But it's a little bit deeper than explaining myself, and I understand that. And because I know that my situation is not traditional, I do feel the need to share my story. And it's also would be beneficial to others that are out there that I know for a fact are trying and just want some insight on why and how I went about it. I'm not going to go too in detail about how, but mainly why. And the why, it sounds so cliche, but to be perfectly honest with you, I woke up one morning and was like, I want to be a mom. I'm in my 30s. It was August of 2019. I woke up one day and was like, why haven't I had one yet? Let's do this. Probably a few years ago, you would have caught me saying I'm never having a kid, but I don't know. Things switch. When I was younger, I always wanted one. So, things change, and that's what happened. So I was like, well, you're not in a relationship. You're not married. You're not this, you're not. But so what? Okay, let's start there. So what? If I felt like I could do it, then I'm gonna do it. I feel like I'm stable enough. I have the amount of love to give. I have a home, a roof over my head, a car to drive, a beautiful job. Although I am striving for more, and I will always be striving for more. So am I ever really quote unquote financially stable? No, because I always want more. But that's a whole nother video. But this one was just like, okay, can I do this? It was like, let's be realistic with yourself. Can you do this? And I started thinking, I was like, yeah, you can. So August of 2019, I started doing my research on how in the world a single woman who does not date men can conceive a child. So I started joining these Facebook support groups of trying to conceive, started learning how they go about it. There's so many different options you could choose from. Sat and did my research and then talked to an OB. And I would say about October, I felt comfortable enough to do it. Now, rewind back to August. I told a few people, maybe like 2 or 3 people. A few of them laughed it off, like, LOL, okay. I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, I'm looking for a donor. I found a donor and everything. And they were like, LOL, okay. So then I was like, okay, well, won't be sharing anything else with you. I just gotta pop up pregnant one day and you'll believe me. And I don't fault them for that. Sometimes I have the tendency to say, oh, I'm going to do this. Or I have like these really big dreams. And then it's just like, you know what, girl, you was tripping. Like, we can't do that. And then I'll fall back on it. But this was something that I knew was not the case. So I just had to do it myself and prove everybody wrong. So I did that. I went on the quest to start finding a donor, which was step 1. Step 1 was going to the OB, making sure that my body was ready and okay to do it. Found a donor. It wasn't like that. I obviously had to vet a few, research a few, figure out what it is I wanted my child to have, what they were able to bring, making sure that they were willing to sign this contract. And it was a lot to go into it, and I'll save that for another time. But once I found the donor, October was the first try. So a little prior to the first try, I went to the cryobank, and I paid for all the testing. You got to make sure you get your test. Pay for all the testing, STD screenings, everything. Even pay for the sperm analysis, because who wants to waste their time. Yeah, and then some donors may already have that stuff. Mine didn't, but me being the recipient and wanting that information, I went on to pay for it. Then after that, we proceeded to do the rest of the process with an at-home insemination. So that is what happened. October didn't take, November didn't take. And the reason why I planned it that way, because I thought I was going to get a Leo like me. And I was like, oh, in my mind, again, big dreams, I'm going to get pregnant in October or November, early November. And she's going to be a Leo. Already knew it was going to be a girl too. She's going to be a Leo. She's going to be just like me. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't work. October didn't work. November did not work. December comes. And the funny thing about December is that when December happened, the December insemination happened, it was the one time that I was certain that it did not work. Like any other time, I was very hopeful. I was taking tests. I was like, oh dang. I was very disappointed when it was negative. But December happened. I was like, there's no way. Like, and it was just because of the way things happened. Like, I didn't think I caught ovulation in time. Because of the holidays, I wasn't able to get a second donation closer to my ovulation day. And I was just like, yeah, I'll try again in January because the holidays really messed it up. So Christmas morning, like literally the morning, like midnight Christmas, I got my donation, artificial insemination, by the way, from my donor. And I literally that day drove to North Carolina to my best friend's house with the soft cup inside of me full of sperm. And I drove on North Carolina, went on about my day, didn't pay no mind, did what I had to do, came back home, enjoying my 2 weeks, mind my business. And it wasn't until January 9th, I'll never forget, January 9th, I was at work, and it was the day before my cycle was supposed to begin, and I was feeling a little weird, but kind of cycle weird, but a tad bit off. So I was just like, you know what? I have tests laying around from the last cycle. Let me just flatter myself and take a test, even though I know my cycle's supposed to start tomorrow. So I came home from work in the morning. I took the pregnancy test. I set it down on the bathroom counter and went on and did something. I don't know what I was doing, but totally forgot about the test. Went back in the bathroom not too long after for something else. Then just happened to look down and it was positive. And I was like, wait, hold up. And I couldn't believe it. I took like 2 more, started calling people or whatever. And I mean, that's honestly how it happened. And I will say this, it was a little hurtful for people that I felt like were close to me to assume other things. Like I got pregnant the natural way, or assume that some certain person was my child's father. My child has a donor. So nobody knows who my child's father is. I know who my child's father is, but nobody else knows. I only have one earring on. But it was a little hurtful because I felt like if you know me, then you would not have listened to whatever was going on in the streets years or now ago and actually knew me. So it just opened my eyes to a lot. And it just made me realize, like, this journey was mine. It was only mine because nobody believed I would do it from the beginning. Even though I didn't share with a lot of people, I kept it a secret from my family because I wanted to surprise them, number one. Then number two, you just don't want to let a lot of people in on those type of things because everybody doesn't understand it or agree with it. And you don't want that messing with your mental. I'm really big on energy and I didn't want to mess in with that. And so this journey was truly mine. I told maybe 1 or 2 in the beginning. One person actually was there with me through the entire journey. Shout out to you, Nika. But after that, it was just like, I'll let people know when I'm ready to let them know and how I'm ready to let them know, because this is something that is so special to me, a blessing that I handpicked myself, that I want to make sure that it is, number one, handled delicately and how I want it to be handled. Nobody can tell my story but me. So here it is, from me to you, finally sharing my story on how and why I conceived my baby girl. I hope you enjoyed. Toodles.